What's up? What's up? Um, Today's video is gonna be about, just being careful the information that you take in and who you listen to on social media. As far as, this here goes, it applies to anything, like a lot of my videos. But as far as, growing your hair like this goes, and, because a lot of people, man, they, they're also trying things for the first time. And I'll use aloe for example. Now the aloe plant is a pretty good plant, man. It's beneficial for hair and to for all kinds of other things. But as far as hair goes, sometimes people are trying not only aloe, but I'm just using it for example, but with other things too, natural, things. They may try it and they may be using it for the first time as well. But you may not think that they're using it for the first time because you're seeing them make a video about it and they're cutting it up. Sometimes I can tell by the way people cut it up that they're using it for the first time. But they're using it for the first time, but they're bringing it to you on a video and using it. You've seen them use it on their hair, and they're bringing it to you as if they've been using it for a long time. Now I'm gonna tell y'all something about a lot of these things, man. Like with aloe, to see results from it, you have to. That's something that you have to use for a prolonged period of time. That's not just something that you can use one time and then see results. That's something that you got to have a bunch of aloe around you, and you have to use that on a consistent basis to see how it works and get the benefits from it. So a lot of times people are using it and then they come on camera, with hair with their hair freshly wet and stuff, and they're telling you, yeah, it made my hair soft and it did this and it did that. I can go wet my hair right now with with some tap water and then come to you on a video and then say, oh, my hair, because my hair's gonna be a little bit longer because it's wet. Of course it's gonna feel soft because it's wet. So yes, when you use aloe and you come on camera and say, yo, my hair feels soft right now, yeah, yeah, it's gonna feel soft because your hair is wet. Make that same video a week or 2 weeks from the time that you used it without anything else, and then see how that what that does to your hair. It sometimes people just are telling you, yeah, you can just use the aloe and just leave it in. From my experience, it's just me giving y'all, just giving y'all truth, because I'm trying to set y'all up for success, man. Because growing your hair like this, people are already gonna look at you funny, so you don't need you don't need to be walking around with flakes in your hair, man, because you didn't have all the knowledge or information on using something like aloe. Now, just for me, I've used aloe quite a few times, and I don't think I've ever made a video. Well, I made a video doing the aloe wash before. It feels good, but I can't say that it like did anything to my dreadlocks, man. I can't say that it I didn't see a difference. Not to say that's not good to use, but just from my experience using it, it's not a plant that you can just put in your hair because it's real slimy. It's not a plant that you can just put in your hair and just not do anything to it after. What's gonna happen is this, I compare it to if you ever seen a snail crawl on cement or on a leaf, they leave this slimy trail behind, right? And what happens is, the sun dries it, or whenever it dries off, you can still see that like residue from that trail. That's exactly how aloe is. So when you use aloe, right, um, put it in your hair, especially when you got free form locks, man, and you put that in your hair, it's once it dries up, it's gonna leave that same kind of flaky trail behind, so that's why you can't just, you're gonna have these little flakes all over your hair. And with freeform locks, it's hard to get that stuff out, man, because they're real small in there, and you put a bunch of the aloe slime all over your hair, and you know, yes, that's what's gonna happen. Even though it's a natural product, man, there's still gonna be some kind of reaction. So you're gonna have these little white flakes all over, and a lot of people are not telling you, yo, um, I used the aloe, and this is what happened. It left flakes in my hair, you know. So that's what happens. And the same thing with avocado. If you and the avocado might not leave the same kind of white flakes, but avocado is going to, first of all, avocado, the consistency of it, once it's mashed up and stuff, it becomes a cream. It becomes real creamy. And again, just because something is a good thing, it's a natural thing, that doesn't mean that it should go in your hair, because the consistency of it, when you have dreadlocks, you know, that gets inside of the dreadlocks. Not only does it get inside of the dreadlocks, and that can also kind of, over a prolonged period of time, and you're not rinsing it out well enough, that's going to cause some buildup, even though it's a natural product, even though it's a beneficial fruit. Um, so it's going to leave these little white, for lack of a better word, fibers like, and it's going to leave that stuff all over your hair, man. So you have to be careful of using a lot of these things, because again, everything has some kind of reaction, so just be careful who and what information that who you take the information from, because a lot of times people are new to this. They're 6 months to a year in, and they want to try a lot of things. I think, like, probably your first year and a half to maybe even 2 years or so, that's kind of your experimental stage with locks, because you're trying to find what should be. You're trying to find what works for you. Now, finding what works for you doesn't necessarily mean that you have to um, use everything that you see someone else on the next video using, or whatever they say that they're using, because those things might work for them, but it might not work for you. So, and I'm not saying that nothing is wrong. I'm not saying nothing is wrong with I'm not saying something is wrong with, trying and experimenting. But once you find something that works for you, stick with it. Don't switch it up just because you've seen someone with longer hair saying that they're using it, and you're like, okay, well, that's what helped grow their hair. Nah, that's the only thing that grew their hair was time and patience. Um, so you're switching up all of these products. If you just find something that works for you, man. To be honest with you, all you need is a good shampoo, and if oils, if you use oils, um, you don't need 3, 4, 5, 6 oils, man. You really only need one, to be honest with you. One good oil, a good shampoo, a good consistent shampoo, and you know, that's really all you need, man. That's gonna take you the rest of the way, man, and patience and time. Um, like I said, I use, rose water is a good thing. Now, I don't want you, when I say I use stuff, it's not me trying to push it or trying to tell you to use it. It's just me saying that, yo, if you're having a problem with something, this may work. It might work for you. I had to do a lot of trial and error myself. I had to go through that. A lot of these times people are making these videos, but they haven't gone through the trial and error of whatever they're showing you about. And I'm not saying it's everybody, but I'm just saying some people. Um, just find something that works for you, and just stick with that. Um, Go through the trial and error of getting to know your hair. Just because something is working for someone, then it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you. Just keep it simple, man. If you just keep it simple, simplicity with just dreadlocks are gonna take you a long way. Sometimes you gotta understand that when your hair is in the dreadlock state, everything that works for kinky hair that doesn't it won't work for dreadlocks. Because let's say a sister with natural hair, she may be able to use avocado or something like that, because once their hair is wet, it kind of straightens out a little bit. So when they're rinsing this stuff out, it rinses out easy. When you have dreadlocks, this stuff is caught in the nooks and crannies of your locks, man. Especially freeform locks, man. You got the afro stage. You might have an afro up there, and you don't want all that stuff stuck in your locks, man. You don't want all that stuff stuck in your hair, man. And so I tell scalp scalp health. I think I mentioned this in a previous video. Scalp health is more important than actual. Like, I don't really focus on my locks, the actual locks, too much. Like, I really just be focusing on my scalp, man, because that's the most important thing. If you got a good scalp, like, that's, so your scalp is your foundation. You got a good foundation, and you got some good, you got a couple good things that work for you, then stick with that. Like, keep your scalp healthy, man. Like, a healthy scalp is, you can have long locks, but you got flakes in your scalp and all of that stuff. Then it's no good. What else was I about to? What else did I want to say? Oh, and I a lot of times people on social media, they ask me, what shampoo am I using? And I really don't like to tell people what shampoo I'm using. Not because I'm trying to hold out, or I don't want to. I got some secret and I'm trying to hold out on that secret or nothing like that. But it's because you have to, whatever shampoo works like this. If you have dry scalp, then you don't want to get a shampoo that's necessarily for, like, hair moisturization. You want to get a shampoo that's going to target. You have a dandruff problem or dry scalp problem, you want to get a shampoo that's going to target that. Whatever your problem is. Hey, man, if I got dry scalp, I'm going to get a shampoo that's going to target my dry scalp. If your hair is, like, your actual hair is, is dry, you want it to, I guess, have a little bit more shine to it, feed it some moisturization, then you would get a shampoo that's for that. So that's why I'm reluctant to tell people which shampoo, because I don't want you to go out and just buy a shampoo that I'm using, because I got to the shampoo that I'm using or whatever because I did trial and error with other things, with other shampoos, and I said, well, okay, I use this shampoo. 3, 4, 5 days later, my scalp is dry again. Okay, I need a shampoo to target dry scalp, because I have, I may have a dry scalp problem. So you want to get something specific to you, not that's what's specific to me. Because I may be using a shampoo, that's let's say if I had thinning locks or something like that. If I had thinning hair, I don't know if shampoo would help with thinning hair, but let's say if there's a such thing, I got shampoo that's for volume or some shit like that. I'm telling you, I'm using this shampoo that's for my cause, and then you go out and buy it, and then you end up having dry scalp or something like that. You know what I mean? So that's why I tell people, like, get to know your hair, get to know, take care of your scalp, and you're gonna find out, within the experimental stages of growing your hair, man, that what works for you. Cause again, I think I started to talk about this, but I kind of veered off into something else. A lot of times they're new to this, and they're real gung-ho about their locks at the moment, and so they're trying all kinds of things, trying things, and they're making videos about these things that may or may not be working for them. And then you see it, and then you're like, oh yeah, that's working for them, but it may not really be working for them. And a lot of times people don't tell you that, yo, I tried this and it didn't work for me, so I moved on to something else. If something don't work for me, I'm gonna tell you, like coconut oil, for instance. Like I said, coconut oil didn't work for me. Not now, that's not to say that coconut oil isn't good. That isn't to say that coconut oil won't work for you. Coconut oil for me doesn't work on my scalp. Um, Sometimes I may use coconut oil on my beard once in a blue moon. I may use it on, as I use it mostly for skin moisturization. For that, for me specifically, it's perfect. But as far as me putting it on my scalp and hoping for a dry scalp, man, my scalp flakes up within like 3-4 days using coconut oil. Coconut oil might be your remedy. It might be a remedy for someone else, but for me, I just can't do it. Um, so be careful of who you're taking this information from, because there's plenty of information out there. We're in the age of information. Everyone is able to have some kind of a platform on social media, whether it be Instagram, YouTube, whatever, Facebook. And so everybody's able to put out information, whether it be right information, wrong information, whether it be information that's just specific to them and it just may work for them and it may not work for you. They're able to put that out there. And then so you can't just look at someone's video and say, okay, they're using such and such product, I'm going to get that. They're washing their hair with this, and look at their length, I'm going to get that. Like, nothing made my hair grow but time and taking care of them. Like, if you take care of your scalp, your hair, that moisturization and stuff, taking care of your scalp, that stuff is going to aid the growth, meaning that having a clean scalp and having moisturization in the hair, that's going to make sure your hair ain't breaking off and stuff, because the more hair is breaking off, the more hairs you're actually losing. So you want to stop breakage if you can, like a bunch of shedding. Your hair is going to shed, but I'm talking about like excessive breaking off and excessive, your hair is brittle and stuff like that. Like, you don't want to do it. Even with my beard, like, I have to do more moisturization with my beard than I have to do with my actual hair. Like I said, I don't moisturize my actual locks. I do take care of my scalp, make sure my scalp is moisturized. I have to take care of my beard because your beard is like, the skin is different, um, so I have to moisturize my beard more often or in a different way, so that's like I said, that's why I make videos, man, so people can, whoever comes across them, man, they know that I'm giving it to you real, man. I'm not trying to sell you on something that's not really working for me. And like I said, if I was using a bunch of products and it didn't work for me anymore, I would come to you and say, yo, I use such and such and it didn't work for me. May work for you though. You have to know your own hair to, I can't, you have to monitor your own scalp and your own hair and know what's going on with it. I can't, or anyone else can't do that for you. So, but yeah, that was just my advice in my video for the day. Just take heed to it, man. Just keep it simple and take care of your scalp. Find what works for you.